We've got a question now which comes from an Irish pub in Memphis, Tennessee. It's from a telephone in the pub. It's Tom Harrison on the other end of it. Tom, hi.
Well, the question was, as a boy raised in the Deep South, at what point in the time did Mr. Grisham determine that black men and women should not be treated any differently than his white friends?
So at what time did it occur to you that black people should not be treated any differently from white people, John Grisham?
Tom, what pub are you in?
The Brass Door.
I know a lot of pubs in Memphis, and I was just curious about that one. That's a very.
I buy my books at Burke's Books.
Oh well, that's great. That's the only bookstore I sign at in Memphis, Tennessee. Great bookstore. Tom, that's a very difficult question, and I'll answer it as fairly as I can. When you're raised in the Deep South, when I was raised there, I was born in 1955 in Arkansas, and I grew up in Arkansas, Mississippi, and Louisiana, primarily Mississippi. And in the 60s and 70s, and those were, as we all know, very chaotic years for many reasons, but not the least of which was the civil rights movement. I was raised in a very racist environment. Not just my family, but my entire community. The schools were all white. The community was all white. The churches were all white. We shopped in a white world, lived in a white world, and we were convinced that it would always remain white. We could resist and keep it that way, and there would always be the great divide. When I was 15 years old, we were forced at federal gunpoint to integrate our schools, and we thought that was the end of the world, and it was not. So my ability to become tolerant, like a lot of people I grew up with, a lot of white people my age in the South, was a gradual process. I'm sure I was in college, probably law school, before I realized that a lot of what I had been brainwashed into believing my entire life was wrong. There are a lot of us, I think, from that place and that time who look back now to those years with a great deal of disbelief and a great deal of regret, and we still struggle with racism. I struggle with it every day. I'm being honest about it. Okay, it's something that you try to purge from your DNA, and it's very, very hard to do.